How you doing, guys? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. It's another Sunday Blues episode 6. We're doing this very well. We're on episode 6. We just started months ago, and we're already here. Um, Tonight I'm with my friend Carl. How you doing, Carl? You with us?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm right here. Good to see you.
Oh, it's afternoon there. It's actually evening here. It's
Yeah,
actually
it's
8
3
p.m.
p.m. today. Yeah.
3 p.m. Yeah. So today, obviously, you guys have already seen the topics. I already put down the topics. We're gonna react to the FA Cup match where we slapped Arsenal 1-0. Then we're gonna talk about Alvarez. We're gonna talk about Riyad Mahrez, and then we're gonna talk about Nathan Ake, who's been amazing. Then we're also going to talk about what City need to do going forward as a team, because right now, as we speak, to be honest with you, things are not 100%. The Man City team is not 100%. So we're going to talk about what they need to do going forward. Um, I'm not sure if I have missed. We're also going to talk about Maximo Perrone, what he's going to bring to this Man City team when he comes back in February. But we'll start off with the FA Cup match. So, Carl, I'm pretty sure. Did you catch the FA Cup match or you missed it?
I watched it. I was fortunate enough to have time to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, Grant. Let me just say hi to the guys in the comments. Eddie had Eddie's Football Waffle, very good channel, guys. Go watch it. Imagine you guys only win the FA Cup with Alan scoring about 100 goals. Would you be happy, Pat? I'm dropping a like. Nah, to be honest with you, I don't think that's happening. I think City are gonna win a trophy. Whether it's I even answered you. I said I think we're looking for the UCL. Big Morgan, how you doing, man? Terry, how you doing, man? Hope you're well, guys. Like the video, like the video, like the video. We're going to try go fast with these topics. We're gonna try go for it. We're gonna give you a lot of information. Don't worry about it. So, Carl, let's start off with this Arsenal match, where Arsenal fans were giddy all week, saying we're going to slap you, we're going to beat you. But at the end of the day, the scoreline is 1-0. How did you find this match?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because with a team that's not firing on all cylinders,
Team that's not on form, yeah.
Yet still has the experience to find moments to win the game against the so-called top of the league. I mean, let's be clear, okay?
Mm-hmm.
City have beaten this season at home every single top 6 side +1.
Mhm.
Right. So Chelsea twice, Liverpool, United, Arsenal, Tottenham,
Yeah.
all of them. And the aggregate scores
Yeah.
between all top 6 sides. So if the team's not playing well, and maybe they're not playing up to 100%, and they can beat all top 6 sides in the season at home, when they start firing, what to expect. But the game itself, game of two halves, we'll talk tactically about what Teta was doing, what Pep had to do. But yeah, experience. And yes, Arsenal didn't play all their top players, but again, City won at their top level at the beginning.
Yeah, but I'm not buying that. Arsenal fans, I'm sorry, but I'm not buying this whole thing where it says, "Oh, we rested a few." First of all, let me ask you, who asked you to rest a few players? Because obviously the next match was way days after. And another thing is, if you look at the City team, most of those players have been sitting on the bench when we were performing top class. The thing about the City team is every player looks like a first team player. That's how it is. Sorry. Ortega was in goal. Edison was on the bench. Laporte was probably one of our best defenders on the bench. Diaz was on the bench. Foden was nowhere, was not even on the bench at all. And Foden is regarded as one of the first team players. Since we're talking about this, right? Bernardo Silva was on the bench. So you're saying you had 6. We also had the same percentage. Cancelo's on the bench. Cancelo is our first choice left back. Right now, Ake is in form, but Cancelo is always our first choice left back. So everybody had nobody in there. What I see is you said the word experience. I think City won this game based on experience. I don't know if you agree with me, Carl. City, Arsenal remind me of Man City 17-18 season.
No, I'm
Where
sorry.
yeah, no, I mean like the so I'll give you the reason why I'm saying this. Do you
Yeah,
remember we never had so much experience in the UCL or so much experience to control games? We
no.
played the same way. We played one way. Remember, it was
I,
always attack, attack, attack.
no, I don't agree. There's no comparison between this team and the 17-18 team.
Yeah, but do you get what where I'm
None.
coming from? Do you remember the
No,
18-17 season? Our team always just attacked, 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 attacked.
no, no, no,
We,
no,
we
no.
changed.
I don't even want to go there because there's no comparison.
Are you trying to tell me that no, I think you don't understand. I'm not saying the teams are the similar. I'm saying if you look at that 17, 18 season,
Mm.
City used to beat teams like 5-3. It was full on attack. It was brilliant passing, tiki taka, full on attack. But the thing is, I don't know if you have understand this. The other team that came on after that, we sort of went into experience of control. Like in the Champions League, if you see the team that got us to the final, they got control of the game. Why in the finals that time when people are saying, "Oh, look at this team," like the time when Spurs took us out, we were always attack, attack. I think even in the Spurs game, if City were more experienced, like the one that leads the final, the Chelsea one, even this one, we have experience where you don't have to rush. When you score a goal, don't continue attacking. You start controlling the game and taking the ball away from the opponent. Does that make sense? But these guys, they seem to be very immature. Where it's like if
It's
you
not,
saw them, they were just opening up,
it's not,
If City were serious, they could have ripped them a new one.
let's be clear. I don't. The reason why I don't want to compare that 17 is because let's be clear. Player for player, who gets into our team, right? Who?
Yeah, that's where you're making the mistake. I think we're not understanding each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
I'm saying if you looked at us in the Champions League, right? Especially Champions, I'm giving an example Champions League. I think the only reason why the 17-18 team never got as far as the other one, where there was Ruben Diaz and Stones, like as a partnership, is if you notice, even the time when we were whooping PSG, do you remember City sat back, let PSG have the ball, and we then, when we took the ball back, when we go and score, we started passing it around PSG, controlling the tempo of the game. But if you look at the 17-18, we were so explosive. We had Sane, we had Raheem. Oh, it was attack, attack. We didn't really control. Sometimes teams would get to us, then we would end up losing games like the Monica one, 6-5. You know what I mean? You get what I
Well,
mean?
we didn't play Monaco in 17-18, but I mean,
Mm.
if you look at the data, right, the defensive solidity of that 17-18 team was one of the best. We conceded second late goals in the Guardiola era. So they controlled the game with David Silva and De Bruyne. They controlled the game by keeping the ball. That's why I don't compare this Arsenal team to that 17. There's no comparison. Quality for quality, player for player. I mean, Aguero versus Nketiah or Jesus, Sane versus Martinelli, Sterling versus Saka. It's just I mean, De Bruyne in his form versus Odegaard, and you have David Silva versus Xhaka, Company versus Gabriel. It's just there's just no comparison. Inform Mendy and Walker, there's none.
I think we just have to agree to disagree,
Yeah.
because I think you're talking about
Mm.
player to player. I'm talking about that the way we played that time is there's a difference. If you look at the C teams after that, yes, we were not as great as the dynamic attacking, but the City teams controlled the ball. They controlled it better.
The data tells you that they didn't control it better, right? In the 18-19 season, where we tried to control games, we conceded more goals than 17-18. So, yeah, I know what you're trying to make, that, okay, somehow we controlled games in 18-19, but the data tells you that you conceded less goals in 17-18 than 18-19. Even though it appears like we're controlling games, we're not really controlling games. We're actually more better in 17-18 than we were even in 18-19 and 2021.
Yeah. Is my camera going 4K? Or is it just me?
It's a little 4K.
Yeah, it's a bit like shiny.
But I hear
making your face look shiny.
I do understand what you're trying to say. Yeah. That, maybe in those moments where against Liverpool in the Champions League, 3-0 down in the first, we didn't have the character that we needed or the experience that we needed to get over the line. I agree with you on that one. Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that's why we talked about the Arsenal team, the experience that they had, in the game, on Friday, which was a City team that's not playing up to their level, but they still found a way to win. Adam.
Yes, I'm here.
I think Patrick.
I think Patrick's is probably fixing his camera. But you know what I've realized, Carl? You know what I've realized from that game? I know a lot of people, yes, are gonna say, it's not. You can't take something. But I don't know if you've realized as well. But you see that ball that what's his name, Ortega tried to do, that long ball over the top. Arsenal really struggled with that, and I think with as much as people want to, sorry for my language, bitch and moan about Edison this, Edison that being shit, XYZ. Yeah. If Edison did that same pass that Ortega was trying to do, when I saw Ortega attempted to do that, I understood what he was doing. I said, now I understand, because what I've realized, even United did the same thing when they beat them 3-1, where they would hit the ball over and get their striker, whoever it was, a Rashford, to go behind the line. And that's what I've realized Arsenal struggled with. And you can see, I could understand why Ortega attempted that. And you can see that it came out. Haaland didn't get the ball, but I was understanding what Ortega was trying to do, and what Haaland had that understanding with him and Ortega, where Ortega saw that opportunity and said, you know what? Yeah. Rather than me passing it to one of my defenders, let me just ping the ball over. And you can see Arsenal really struggled, and that's why I saw, what's his name, Holden got a yellow card for that. And that's where I could see some of our other teams, or whether it be us, exploiting that against them,
Well, the reason why Ortega was going long to Erling Haaland was very simple. It was simply because Arsenal were playing man to man, right? So think about this, right? So how many players you have on the field, Adam? How many players you have on the field? 10.
11.
No, 10 minus the keeper.
Sorry, 10, because right. I was including the goalkeeper.
If City have 10 players on the field, and Arsenal have 10 players on the field, and you go man to man marking, who's the free person? Who's the free person? The goalkeeper.
Is it not
the keeper?
Yeah. So now, Ortega has the ball, right? When the reason why he was pinging balls up to Haaland was because Haaland and Holding mismatch. Haaland is faster, stronger, more physical, and that's why Holden got the yellow card and got subbed off. So, and if you notice what Arsenal were trying to do with their keeper was play the keeper a little higher line to squeeze the distance between their box and Erling Haaland. So then Ortega now has to be perfect in how he plays the ball up into Haaland, which he wasn't 100%, which Edison does very, very well. Better than anybody, right? He can ping the ball to your head wherever you are on the field. So when Arsenal fans talk about the game at the Emirates, if they do that again and Edison is in goal, guess what? He's going to find Erling Haaland in that space between the keeper and the defender, and he's going to score a goal. And Arteta knew that Ortega was going to play, so he played man-to-man to force Ortega to go long because he knows Ortega's long ball is not as good. So it was smart. It was smart. So that's how the game went for probably 60 minutes. Playing man-to-man, trying to play that, and then Guardiola makes 2 changes. And I said this on Twitter. I said, we need to have Walker and Alvarez in the game. Adam, your mic.
My one is off. I think it's Patrick.
Okay, we need to have.
What is that? What's my mic doing?
No, I think Adam has a background noise in his mic. So that's why you notice we had Alvarez and Walker come on. When Alvarez comes on, right, what Pep is saying is that, you know what, I want to introduce a level of chaos into this game. All of a sudden, Alvarez has a free roll around the whole place. What does that mean? That means nobody's picking him up. He's going up, he's going left, he's going right. Nobody can pick him up. He's a spare person.
Because you know it was, Carl. I remember hosting the debate.
When he takes that shot,
sir.
Which is why when he takes that shot, right, he's a free person to take that shot, which led to a goal.
You know what it was, Carl? Because I remember hosting the space, and then somebody wrote in the comment section saying, "Oh, why is it that you, Patrick and Gundolorian always bang on about Alvarez. So I replied to him. I said to him, listen, the reason why we bang on about this kid is we've stayed up watching every single game of his before he even came to see. And every single time he's come off the bench, he's made a change. He's made a change to the game. The game has changed. And I said, oh, are you really asking me that question? I said, oh, are you really questioning what me, Carl, and Patrick see and why we bang on about this kid? This kid. Every single time he's come off the bench. I'm not being rude, but don't you have 2 eyes? You have 2 eyes. God gifted you 2 eyes, to see every single time he's come off the bench or whether he started the game. Yeah. The threat that he offers, and then for you to question us three and say, oh, why are we always banging on? Why are we per se bitching and moaning about him? Oh, why is he not starting all of that? Because we know what he offers them, and it's annoying to see, that like what you've always been banging on about, versatility. Whenever the Alvarez is on there, we always have a versatility where we don't play this inverted sorry for my language shit that we seem to always play. I understand Pep can have some control. You've got to have a balance of threat and also control. I don't mind that. But the fact is that I just everything control.
I mean, I don't know who said make that comment, but if you look at the way Alvarez changes the game, he offers something that none of that front three have. He's the one who's pressing like a madman to press the ball from the keeper. If he goes to the keeper plays it wide, he's pressing the person next to him. He's the presser, right? And because he presses, he disrupts the build-up of the opposition, which means that Erling Haaland or De Bruyne or Bernardo or somebody else gets the ball and recovers the ball. You know, this is the same thing this kid does for Argentina with Messi, right? Playing with Messi in a 4-4-2. He's a disruptor. Messi's the one who cleans up the ball. So it's no surprise that this is what this kid does. And then when now Walker comes in, Walker completely shuts down that right side because we're getting a lot of joy from that side. So all of a sudden, that guy from Brighton who joined Arsenal had no joy because Walker's on that side, because Walker can match him for pace. And now we have balance with Walker and Ake playing that, you know, in that system. And then, of course, Laporte being the center back in the middle, left-sided center back, who's able to ping the ball left, right, and center, better than Akanji. Laporte's distribution is way better than Akanji. More comfortable on the ball. So it was really interesting to see, you know, how things change on a dime very quickly with even a team that's not performing at 100%. To still beat the league leaders, Arsenal, 1-0 is incredible. And they've beaten Liverpool, Chelsea twice, United. Patrick.
My internet is acting up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
It's poor, and I had to connect another mic. I don't know. I have to get a new laptop, to be honest. Anyway, yeah, we're talking about Alvarez. Yeah, Alvarez becoming the reason why we're having a lot of energy in the midfield, connected, I think, to Haaland. And for me, I know we made a video, Carl. This kid has to play a lot of games, but at this point, it's becoming where I think this whole joke that Pepe is making, saying, "Oh, they can play together." Remember, he was making these jokes about Gabriel Jesus, and I don't think they have to be jokes anymore. I think right now he has to be sitting in that in his own office, thinking that this kid has to play. Because what is the excuse right now why Alvarez came? I don't know if anybody has one in this panel. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we
hear
can hear you.
you.
Yeah. So I'm saying that I don't know what excuse, because without him, the team looks poor. And it's, I don't know, without Alvarez, the team looks poor. And you're right. We say this many times. We say Tevez, incredible players. I was watching his highlights to put them on TV. The goals Tevez was scoring and they had, I remember, he was incredible. Looking at Higuain, looking at Dybala, Aguero, all failed to help Messi get a World Cup. But people like Alvarez and guys, they managed. So he's highly rated. I think every time he comes on and he plays for us, he's the key why we beat Spurs. If you look at the Spurs game, he was the key. Going forward, I don't think the bench is the right thing. And the funny thing about it is, it doesn't matter if you drop a midfielder, Alex can still do that job too. So I don't know, guys, man. I don't know what else. Skywalker, welcome, man, and Hamza. You guys can also say on Alvarez. What do you think of this Alvarez guy? Before we move to Nathanaki and Mahrez.
I just want to say, yeah, big up everyone, man. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing fantastic after that 1-0 win. I think it just shows it was men versus boys out there. And they tried to play our game. And that's what happens when you try to play our game. You it's the master versus the student, as you know, the title, as you put on Twitter. With Alvarez, I think, you know, it's the way I did not expect him to be this good when he came into the squad. I thought he's going to be on the bench majority of the time, even though he is. And, you know, he's just going to be that, you know, average player who will just slowly progress. But what I'm seeing from him is amazing. His work ethic, the way when he comes on the pitch, you can tell this kid, every time he comes on, he doesn't stop running. He wants that ball. He wants to score. We saw that shot outside the box. You know, he wants to do it. He's not scared. He's not afraid. He likes a challenge, and that's what we need.
Not like this team, you know. A lot of players don't seem to want to shoot from outside.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's good to have that. And I looked at that clip again. It reminded me of someone that we used to have, an Argentinian. I mean, I think you guys can remember that. I think everyone knows who that is. It reminds me of Aguero when, you know, if Aguero had that chance, he would shoot. It reminds, and a bit of Tevez as well. Yeah, like, you know, when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I think Alvarez needs to do this more. You know, just start shooting more. You know, and for the rest of the players as well, I think they should start doing that more. Because with Haaland, right, we don't see him really shoot outside the box. I mean, I would love to see Haaland, you know, have a crack. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's Pep's instructions. Whatever the players have to do, they'll do it. But yeah, I'm really happy with Alvarez, man. I'm really happy. I think he should, you know, get in more. Get in the squad more. Start more. I think he needs to start, yeah.
Cool, yeah. Skywalker, what are your thoughts on Nathanaki and Riyad Mahrez so far?
Morning, guys. Big ups, Pat, for another live session. Mahrez, for me, you know, it took a while to get into your stride. I've been waiting for this version of Riyad Mahrez all season, so it's pretty cool to see him finally hit his stride. Because if you compare him to last season, right, Mahrez was literally our best player from the start of the season to the end of the season. I'm looking at it from the whole season in totality. You know, he's been our most consistent player. KDB was a bit off in the start of the season, finished off on a high at the end of last season. Mahrez was good throughout. It's really good to see him back on form. I don't understand what was going on, why he didn't start off the way he is right now, but we can't really complain about the past. We look forward to the future. I just hope he kicks on, he stays fit, and then he keeps producing results like he has been. Nathan Ake, on the other hand, this guy has been a bit of a surprise for me, right? I wasn't really impressed with his season last season. People will say he needs time, this and that, and I felt like the same way I feel with Grealish, like he might be out of his depth with the squad. When you look at the partnerships he's been up with, Diaz, Laporte, Stones, these guys have become world beaters as centre backs. These guys are renowned centre backs in the world of football, right? And I felt Nathan Ake, coming from his humble background, Bournemouth, failed stint at Chelsea, coming to Man City was a big step for him, but he has proven me wrong. So I'm really, really happy with what he's contributing towards the team. He's doing an absolutely brilliant job on the left-hand side. I thought he would be a centre back, he'd be on the bench majority of the time, but this guy became versatile enough to play on the left as well, and he is keeping the likes of Cancelo and Gomez out. So I'm pretty impressed.
He was supposed to go to Chelsea, to think about it, remember? He was supposed to go to Chelsea and...
Yes, I was actually, gunning for that deal. I'm like, maybe we should cash in on Ake right now, especially since we paid 45 for him and Chelsea were willing to go up to 50 or 60 for him. But he was the one he doesn't want to go play for Chelsea. He said, okay, I actually still want to prove myself here as well. If he was asked to leave, he probably would have, but he wanted to prove himself. He wanted to prove that he deserved to be in a team with champions and that he wasn't just part of a campaign and happened to win the Premier League because he was part of the team, but because he contributed. And I think that's what he's going for today.
Okay, what about yourself, Carl? What do you think of Nathan? I sent you the video, the way he pocketed Saka. Very incredible.
Nathan,
Saka who's been destroying a lot of fullbacks.
I think last season, I think that Ake was trying to get into the team and find a rhythm. I think the World Cup was also on his mind. Am I going to make the World Cup? Am I going to be good enough? Am I getting enough game time to make the World Cup? I think once he went to the World Cup, and even before the World Cup, even when he started for us, he started to play with rhythm. He began to understand the system that he's supposed to play. And it's no surprise that this new system that we're playing actually fits Ake more than playing a back four. Because if playing a back four, he's playing as an orthodox attacking left back, which he's not. But this new system gives him the license to pick and choose when he goes forward and when he steps back. And 1v1 versus Saka, he's been phenomenal. Even against United, he was amazing. Against Tottenham, he was amazing. Against Liverpool, he was great. So, kudos to the guy. The guy has come of age, and then he got married, he's had a kid, he's settled down, he's happy. Everything's now balanced. All those things all add up to a guy who's trusted as one of the guys at the back for City. It was brilliant.
And you know why I'm happy for him is because of what happened to him, what he had to go through, the loss of his father. After having his father passing away, it ain't easy to come back after that mentally. And for him to do what he's doing right now, big kudos to him,
After he scored, I think, one of the most important games for us, goals. I think it was his first goal. So everybody was happy for him, and he got on a call and he found out about his father at the exact same time that he scored the winner for Man City. So he's been through a lot of ups and downs.
You do need people like him, though. You be honest. I always thought why Ake is not working out. Like, he has to wake up, because don't forget, he was being played as left back in Netherlands, remember? And he was playing very well. He used to attack, go in front. So I think it was just a matter of confidence. And right now, it looks like he's very confident. Adam, before we move on to other topics, what about...
What did you say, Patrick? You cut out.
I'm saying, what about Riyad Mahrez, Adam? Any thoughts on his performance? Because he's been one of the best wingers in the...
Yeah, Adam. Riyad Mahrez. What do you think of him?
He's pretty much being Riyad Mahrez, the old Riyad Mahrez that we know.
Yeah, I thought him gone.
You still want him gone? Should we get rid of him?
No comment.
No. You did say you want to get rid of him. You've had enough. Do you still stick by that, or have you changed your mind?
No comment. I'll just say.
Okay. Look, let's move on to this topic. Carl, since this was one of your topics, you can explain to us. So the other topic is what will Maximo bring to Man City in February?
Yeah. And we thought we'll bring this topic in because we've seen a lot of traffic, a lot of talk about, we're not active in window. What are we doing? Chelsea's buying all these players. Arsenal buying all these players, and we always forget that we have this guy coming in. He's coming in. Probably he's on his way to Manchester as we speak, because Argentina out of the under 20 Copa America. So this guy brings energy, dynamism, youth into that midfield. We think about one of the complaints that we've had recently about Gundogan, about he's great on the ball technically, but he struggles with pace, right? Recovery pace, getting back, going box to box. Well, this guy is able to do that. He did it for Argentina in this under 20 World Cup, under 20 Copa America. He also did it for his club. Now, there's an argument that, he's going to be with us. Is he going to go out alone? I don't think so. I think this kid is good enough to come in off the bench for us and play in a game where Gundogan needs to be rested, or maybe.
Yeah, did they say that he said that he doesn't want to be sent out on if he signs him?
And don't forget, Patrick, the same argument people are making now about this guy is the same argument that many people made about Alvarez. And we are always saying that, no, Alvarez is good enough to start. Alvarez can be the spark. Alvarez can be the catalyst. Well, Maxi Perrone, in my opinion, having watched him, last summer, can be the spark. He's dogged, he's fast, he's quick, he's left-footed, he's good on the ball. He knows how to arrive in those positions. Good passing range, has energy, has stamina. It's kind of what we need in that midfield. When things aren't going right, somebody to kind of hunker down and make those passes. I mean, this guy is, for lack of a better word, this guy is like Frankie de Jong, right? If you think about a player he's like in the world of football, he's like Frankie de Jong. Can play an 8, can play a 6, can even play centre back in terms of a build up with a 3. So I'm excited to see him come into the squad this February. Let's see how he plays with the team. That's what I want to talk about with him.
He's really good on the ball, good though. I mean, I watched some clips with him. When I've noticed a lot of times where some of his players will pass to him in a danger zone where he's pressed by 2 or 3 players and he would take them out of it. He's really reliable. That's what I really like, because our midfielders, right, they have to be reliable on the ball. If you're not reliable, where you can take players out of danger zones and, you're good on the ball, you can pass the ball, all that stuff, you won't play in the Pep system, because you have to be reliable in that midfield.
Yeah.
Because if one of our players is in danger, you have to release it to him,
to
the midfielder, and they'll take us out of it. And I think he'll be really good. Honestly, I'm excited for him. I'll be honest.
I think for me, think about, Enzo Fernandez. We all see what he did for Argentina. This guy is as good, as Fernandez, just hasn't had the exposure yet at a top level club. So he's left, Vélez Sarsfield and is coming straight to Manchester. Enzo went to Benfica and now maybe going to Chelsea or wherever he's going for 120 million. We got this guy for 8 million.
That's a good deal.
That's
a good deal. We need something in that midfield. I know some people get offended. Sometimes we say it as jokes. Getting offended. In life, it happens. I'm sorry, guys, to tell you and break it to you. It happens. Our players will not be the same. David Silva started losing legs in the last games. You saw this. Even Pep made a joke out of it, I think, in the dressing room. It was said by one of the reporters. Would you still sign a left back even with Ake? Yeah, we would. Yeah, we would sign a good natural left back, not a good left back, a natural left back. But it depends. Ake used to. This is my other thing. Ake used to play left back for Netherlands. Maybe Ake owns the place, and then Pep is like, why should I sign a left back? You never know, because Ake is not built like centre back. Am I wrong to say that? He's not built like.
Yeah, he's not built.
He's not like big like most centre backs, and he's more mobile. He's very mobile. So look, if he continues taking on wingers the way he's taking, I think Pep will just look at it.
But Patrick, I was just going to say quickly about Ake. Just quickly, it'll be 10 seconds. I think with Ake, if he carries on the way he's doing, and Cancelo in the summer, for example, says, you know what, I want to fight for my spot, I think we should just keep Cancelo and Ake fighting for that spot.
Yeah, but
because they're both brilliant players.
Cancelo wants to leave. Like, there's a question here. Do you think
Cancelo?
Yeah,
of course. No. That's what I'm saying. If Cancelo wants to stay and says, you know what, I want to stay at Manchester City and I'll fight for my spot. If he does that, I don't think we should go for a left back, in my opinion.
Just to Hamza, for me, so all the story about Cancelo wants to, Anytime a player doesn't play, they want to leave. I mean, seriously, all the stories that these in the know people create. I mean,
Yeah.
and then in 6 months' time, oh, Cancelo was just going to a rough patch. He's happy now. But who holds these accounts accountable? When they create these stories because a player is not playing, all of a
Nobody.
sudden he's
Nobody.
having a fit and he wants to leave. Who holds these accounts responsible?
Nobody.
Who
I
holds
don't think.
Right. And guys, just also, right, when I look at the left back situation, Ake has it on lock, right? And we've been giving Gomez a chance. I feel like, okay, for a moment I've been feeling like maybe Gomez just isn't the guy for us. And funny enough, I said the same thing about Ake, you know. So I think maybe the same amount of time that Ake needed for Man City, the same amount of time that Grealish needs, I think maybe Gomez might have something for us. Maybe right now we
Yeah,
can see he's clearly not ready, you
yeah.
know. So I feel like
That's
we have
that's a
an
good one. Yeah.
issue. Yes, I feel like we overlooking him right now. We're complaining, oh, it seems like we don't have left backs. We don't have right now. It seems like we have 3 left backs and 3 right backs if you count
Well
Cancelo
said.
twice for either
Well said.
position. You know, so technically we are stacked in left back position. The right back position we have 3 right backs,
Yeah,
and we
that's
have what 4 centre backs and everything. So
a
I
good
think with
one.
Gomez, yeah, and the thing is, Gomez is not a bum. Like he's not a bum. We've seen him going forward. His best attributes are going forward.
It just needs
Um,
to settle in. You're right about that.
Yes, he needs to settle in. He's also quite new. The same way Alvarez is settling in. Um, Granted, Alvarez is having a bang of a season. You know, I think maybe there's a difference in terms of quality. That's why Alvarez is showing more. But there is something in Gomez. We just haven't seen it fully harnessed. Pep hasn't shown everything. Maybe he hasn't shown. He has to settle down. England is new for him as well. New team, new everything, right? So I think we shouldn't count him out. And on the Perrone chat, right, I feel like this guy, I don't think he comes in immediately. I think he comes to City and he practices with the first team and everything, but I don't think he is a guy who will come off the bench for us in the league or in the League Cup. Maybe in the FA Cup, with the few rounds that we have left.
Why?
But like, I don't see him coming.
Why
Can
do
I
you
ask
say
you a
that?
question?
Why do you say that?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm curious. Why do you say that?
I'm not doubting his ability at all, but I'm thinking about how Pep thinks. That's how Pep is. Pep loves to give midfielders, like every player from the midfield role upwards, he gives them time before he introduces them into the squad, especially if we buy them in the middle of the season. He did it with Jesus, he did it with everybody, but the only people he throws into the deep end are centre back. He did it with Laporte, he did it with Akanji, and I forgot who else. Whereas when it comes to midfielders, Rodri didn't throw him in the deep end.
No,
We
but I
all knew that
disagree.
Fernandinho's legs.
Pep brought
What do you
Busquets
mean?
straight. Pep brought Busquets straight into the first team of Barca over Yaya Toure. And the thing, let me ask you a question, right?
No,
Wait, can I ask you
that
a
wasn't
question?
straight. That wasn't straight
If
though.
yeah, he brought him straight. I don't know which Barca you are watching. Pep brought Busquets straight into the DM role. There was no integration. He brought him straight. If we buy Enzo tomorrow, does he come into our team or is he just going to be training with the first team?
Oh, he comes in. Yeah, he
So,
comes.
I don't think he
so
comes in.
Enzo
I think
Enzo,
Pep will literally integrate them. I don't think
No, he comes
wait,
in.
so
Pep
if
Pep is
if
also Pep also has
Enzo,
this thing
if
of
we
trust, bro.
spend,
no,
if we
You guys think.
if we end up
you know,
spending,
you
Please don't
see
get me
what
wrong, guys.
if
2
we
seconds.
no
2
no one
seconds.
second
Please don't
no
get
no
me wrong.
no no
Please
one
don't get me wrong, right? I'm not going up against their ability. I know their
no,
ability
it's
and
not
everything.
about
I
ability.
just don't think that's
Skywalker,
how
Skywalker,
Pep works,
it's
bro.
Skywalker, right?
That's not how Pep does
Skywalker.
things.
The
Yeah.
issue I have with the internet is there's many narratives that have been around so long that they are seen as truths, right? Like, oh, Pep doesn't throw academy lads straight into the first team, but no. With Pep is if you are good enough and you understand his instructions, you
I mean,
play.
Rico Lewis.
Yeah, you play.
That's literally
It's
what I
not
was about
about.
to say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. These
I
normally
hear
come
you.
from people who haven't followed Pep's career. Pep bought Kimmich, right?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
good enough. Throw him said the thing with Pep is if you are good enough and he sees that you can follow his instructions, you play. There is no that only if you don't if he sees that you're not understanding what he's trying to implement, then only he slows the integration period.
I mean,
As
Not
well as if you're
not-
you also have to be better than the guys on the field, right? You also have to
yes,
be
but
right
better
now
than
that's
the guys on the
that's
field.
a
That's when
footballer
Pep
plays.
throws in. Yes, hundred
Yeah, but
percent.
right
But
now
when
the
you look
guy
at the
who is
people that he's
no.
competing against, is Bernardo Silva,
Skywalker.
and Bernardo Silva and Gundogan, right? And he's been tossing
Yeah,
Foden
but
into midfield.
who hasn't
I don't
been.
feel like Perrone comes in above all three of them. He
Why
doesn't
not?
just come
I,
in
I
and be
think
like,
I
okay,
think
he's
I
that
think we
guy.
can all agree that we can. I think we can all agree that Perron doesn't come in instead of Gundogan starting. But if Gundogan has 60 minutes, Perron comes and can count to 30. Absolutely. There's
Yeah,
no
and now
doubt.
the thing is this.
100%. 100%.
No, no,
Are you
the
following this,
catch is this.
Skywalker? I mean, right?
No,
Now,
He,
so are you saying would you then say that if Pep makes a sub of Gundogan, right, you look at his bench and decide, okay, no, I'm not going to play Bernardo Silva. I'd rather choose Perrone over him. Or
yeah,
when Bernardo Silva starts, you'll be like, okay, not Gundogan, Perrone. Do you think
but
he'll have that much trust on him in
Skywalker,
the first season? Because we're talking about for the
Skywalker,
rest of the
you
season,
like
right?
prediction.
well, let's talk about
Skywalker.
Kyle Walker. I mean, Rico Lewis plays basically a center midfield position. Let's be clear. He bench Kyle Walker. Alvarez comes in for Gundogan, or was it De Bruyne?
De Bruyne.
He benched De
De
Bruyne.
Bruyne, yeah.
Alvarez against Tottenham. Benched him. Or was it Wolves? One of the games. Benched him. De Bruyne on the bench. That same game, Bernardo Silva was on the bench. You know, if a player comes in and is 21 and shows the hunger and desire that the guy is looking for, the man will play him. The man will play
All
him.
right. Fair point. Fair point. I hear you guys.
You know?
I hear you guys.
But I do understand your argument that given what we've heard, and this is why I talk about the fact that when you hear all these stories from all these accounts who don't know shit, most of them, I'm sorry, and some of these journalists that don't know, they write stuff in their back and just post stuff for clicks and bait. We need to be careful to cure the stuff and say, does this really make sense? We like Patrick and I have watched Alvarez for over 6 months, 80 months, every game, every single game, right? I remember when I first saw Maxi Perrone. I remember that game. Hamza, I told you, I was watching the Copa Libertadores, right? Now,
Yeah.
River are champions versus Vélez. And I'm like, who is this guy bossing Alvarez and Enzo Fernandez in the midfield? Why is Vélez bossing the champions anyhow? River went out. And it didn't cross my mind. When I heard this guy was coming, and they said he's for Vélez, and I remembered, that was that kid in that game that was running rings around Enzo and Alvarez, that played 4-4-2 low block in the middle of the park and was basically tackling and running and chasing. That's when it clicked. And I told Patrick, that's that guy that we saw in June for Vélez against River Plate.
Yeah, you said it. Yeah, then that's when everybody started watching the videos. And this is the guy. The funny thing is, this is the same guy Benfica were scouting to take over Enzo Fernandez if Enzo Fernandez goes to Chelsea. Guys, the window is closing. Won't there be any signing? The signing is Enzo Fernandez, Tando, Tindo, or I don't know, is it Tindo? Would you take any player from Napoli? I would take that DM, but we already have DM, so I wouldn't. But I also take the winger. Yeah, I'll take the wing. Do you know? Speaking of wingers, Mitoma.
Oh my goodness.
Mitoma is a bad man. Don't smoke. Mitoma is a bad man. This is the third time Mitoma has met Trent, and Klopp had to take Trent out of the pitch to put Gomez.
More to come.
Gomez.
No, happy days. I'm enjoying this. Happy days. More to come.
Man, that Mitoma, man. They got him for 2 million from the
2.5 million.
Yeah, 2.5 million for the Japanese league.
Don't smoke. This guy is the kind of guy that you like because you're a software engineer. I know how you think, right? This guy did a master's thesis on how to dribble as a winger to score goals. A master's thesis. That was his thesis. He put a camera on his friends' heads and was recording how people react to how a winger dribbles.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Adam Skywalker.
Yeah. No. Shout out, I don't think
It's not
Bryson
normal.
gets enough credit. I
It's
don't
not
think
normal.
Bryson gets enough credit with the recruitment. I don't think they get enough credit.
They don't get enough credit, man.
You know what's
Those
crazy?
guys-
The fact that Japan didn't. Wait, he's Japanese, right? He's Japanese. Yeah, so like Japan didn't have this guy in their starting 11. Even Japan didn't see this guy at that level. This guy burst onto the scene at Brighton. That's where he's making a name for himself. Not in the Japan national team, not from the bench. It's crazy.
Man, this guy is too much. This guy, I was watching the game today. there's a point where he went into Liverpool's box. He dribbled them from the outside, went back inside, went outside again, but obviously they managed to block it. But the way comfortably he was walking into that box, not, do you know like how people walk into a box by kicking the ball and running, like Raheem used to do? No, don't smoke. This guy was slicing everybody as he gets into the box. So he starts with the guy from outside, dribbles him, he dribbled the other guy and goes in. And Cow, that goal he scored.
Oh
That,
my gosh.
do you know what he did? He controlled it and then pretended as if he's about to hit it and controlled it again. That's why Gomez went down, and then he didn't even come to the floor. He placed it. Simple. This guy.
Do you remember that pass he gave with outside of his foot across the box?
I did, and I was imagining that. Imagine if this guy was playing for City and Haaland would be eating.
I remember. Brilliant.
2
I got
million.
no words for this kid, man. He's amazing.
Oh,
I
he's
think
20. He's
really good
25.
for us.
He's 25. Yeah.
I think he'd do well for us. I think he'd be really good for us.
Do you know what I was imagining him? Like I said, Mahrez is done. This is the guy you'd be bringing in right now. You know. Because,
you know the issue I have. He's a good player.
Carl, did you ask where would you play Mitoma?
Yeah.
That left hand side is not great.
But Patrick, you know the issue is.
Don't let me speak. Don't let me get cancelled. That left hand side.
But Patrick, you know what the issue is. Brighton are gonna ask for some stupid amount.
That's the issue.
100
That's
million.
what I thought about.
They're gonna ask 100 million for him. We all know 100 million.
Skywalker, if he continues this season and he continues skinning people like this, whoever comes for him,
You'd be lucky if you get him for 80.
Would you blame them? This guy, what he's doing, this guy.
Hey, I say you'll be lucky if you were able to get him for 80 million. Generally speaking,
but you know the truth. The truth is that our scouting department need to look at themselves twice. Let's be fair, because I mean, think about Trossard, this guy.
I could have taken Trossard, guys. I would have also taken Trossard. I don't know why
No,
Trossard.
but Carl, you can't say that. You can't say with one breath that our scouting did a thing on Alvarez and Perrone, whereas on the other side, that's how it is, you know.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. But my bad. So I take that back. You're right. You're right.
No,
I'm just blinded.
Don't take it back. Don't take it
Nah,
back.
it's greed. It's
No,
greed.
it's only recent, right? No. These people have been placed all these years, and it's only recent that they pulled these 3 gems. All right. The thing is, we expect this kind of recruitment, right? Especially if you have, because the thing is this: Chelsea thought by taking Brighton's recruitment team that they're gonna have this, and the fact that they're still paying the exhaustive amounts they're paying shows that at the end of the day, you can buy certain things, but just how clubs are built is how clubs are built, and this is what we want. We want hidden gems. Like, I'm more excited for a Perrone than a 100 million signing.
Me too.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
And you know what, guys? I'm sorry, but for I don't know this guy, you should see this. And you know what? That scouting thing you did, Carl, might be right. Look, I know we have got good scouts. We've scouted a few people, but I get where Carl is coming from, because I was seeing Mitoma, the videos he was doing, because he used to upload videos, by the way. If you saw some of these socials, so he was uploading videos on how to dribble fast, how to dribble slow, where to stop. So all the time when he was studying and refusing to sign a professional contract, this guy was still showing people that this is who I am and this is who I'm going to become. Do you get my point?
You know,
But
the funny thing,
Brighton,
Patrick, is that
Brighton.
his off the field attributes are the kinds of things that the club likes, right? He's cool,
pressing,
he's calm, his behavior, he's analytical, he's cerebral. All those things are what he likes. Maybe this one just fell through the crack, or maybe they just said, okay, Grealish can give us more in terms of revenue and PR, which is fair. And so we don't need this guy. Now, having said that, Jack has improved significantly, I will say. I hold my corn.
But guess what? Guess what I also saw today from this guy. He can track back. He's a hard worker. Do you remember that time when I wanted Son? Son is obviously going towards the end right now. This guy is like a Son. This is like the Son we wanted at this point in time. This guy is too good, guys. I'm sorry.
His ceiling is higher. Patrick, his ceiling is much higher than Son. Hey?
This guy seems like Skywalker. If I wouldn't 80 million, I'm sorry, I wouldn't be hating. I'm sorry if he continues this way, what he's doing, guys. What he did to Liverpool. I know Liverpool are dusted, but still, I've seen our players struggle still to go through that Liverpool. He dribbled all of them, but also for him to have that composure where there's 4 players around him. Carl, I keep watching that goal and I can't believe it. I can't. And Brighton, I know what Brighton are gonna ask. If you go near this guy, I know what
I
Brighton are
think.
asking because
Yeah, go on.
this player, oh man, this
I
player is
think.
better
I
than
think.
Cucurella.
I think you know what it is, right? If he carries on doing what he's doing, and we're be like all the guys that are watching football, all the fans are noticing this, and everyone's acknowledging that this kid, there's something with this guy. He's really good. I think personally, if Bernardo Silva ends up leaving in the summer, I would like to see Phil Foden get into that number 8 role, and we go for this kid and the Napoli guy. I think I want to build more competition on the wings for Mahrez and Grealish.
Who would be harder to
No,
negotiate
but
with? Napoli
Patrick,
or them? Napoli or Brighton? Who would be harder to negotiate with?
Napoli will be a lot harder.
Napoli. Napoli are.
I think I know I sound really selfish, but I want him in the Napoli winger only because I want to build more competition for Grealish and Mahrez. Because what I'm afraid of is if they're guaranteed spots, they're going to be like, you know what, I'm playing all the time now. Even if I have a bad game, I'm playing. I want to keep that competition going for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Adam, are you trying to play Hamza? Trying to play Chad Bowley's 4-4-3 formation?
No. I just think it's good to keep that competition going with the positions. I think it's very important.
Don't smoke. What do you think of this guy, man? This guy is bad, and he's ruthless, and his dribbling is ruthless. There's no pity.
I love the confidence from him.
But the thing is, I think the Brighton setup suits him to the T, in the sense that in the Brighton you can have chaos because there's organization. It's more like organized chaos, and you can see that their system is bigger than any players. Because Caicedo didn't play, Bisuma's gone. They still play. It shows that it's no. I like this, but it goes to Carl's thing in the sense that where are you gonna play him, right? With what we're trying to do, it becomes it's a nice thing, but I don't. And man, there's just too many variables to consider. It's nice. It's nice to watch.
His passing is also great, by the way, and the ball retention is also great because I was impressed by the passing. His passing is great. He also passes like it's the tight spots. He was putting the ball through for the Brighton guy just because the guy was a break, wasn't finishing, but he was also putting. He was not always fast. It was always about dribbling. He also knew how to control himself and pass the ball. I think why Carl was saying this guy is the perfect guy we look for is don't smoke. Pep wants these calculated players where he says Foden doesn't know when to slow down. This guy looks like he's just studied the game. And I was just I was imagining this guy and Pep talking to each other. Pep would be so happy to talk to somebody who studies the game like this.
100%.
Patrick, when the guy's not a bachelor's thesis, when he does his master's thesis, which you have to defend in front of a panel most times on how to dribble as a winger. Come on.
Yeah, no, it's not easy, Gundo. Like I started my master's right, and I was asked to research 100 papers, and I posted there. It's years now since I met my professor. Trust me, if you're gonna go through that as your thesis, then he knows what he's doing. And he studied inside that. You have to defend against a panel who are gonna have opposition views, and that's all they prepared to do, make you look like a fool. And if he could survive,
I'm telling you, man, this guy. And they said, what would happen to Foden? Foden, I would put him to the right hand side sometimes. Because let's not. He's turning 32 this year. He's gonna be 33 very soon. So it's not like we wouldn't need these legs. To be honest with you, the way he's going, I'm telling you, it reminds me of the time when we went after Alvarez.
Brighton will extort us. That's what I can tell you.
Yeah, they'll definitely extort us, but that's the market.
That's for the market, other reasons. Though. It's fair, though. It's market.
No. I'm saying with Brighton, it's other reasons that we don't have to speak about on shows.
Yes. But quickly, right, just to touch on the Mitoma. Can I just touch on the Mitoma quickly? Right, I think when we look at him and we look at Kvaratskhelia from Napoli, I think Mitoma is a much better fit. When you look at Kvaratskhelia, the reason why Kvaratskhelia thrives is for the same Grealish thrived from Aston Villa, right? These guys love running into space. and they can cause a lot of chaos when they have a lot of space to run into. And we've seen it recently that at Man City, not even recently, but at Man City, you don't play with a lot of space. You need to be able to play in tight spaces. And with Matoma's ability in tight spaces, it'd be a perfect fit,
That,
right? I think it'd be more
that's what
perfect
impressed
than the
me.
likes of Villa.
That's what
Yes,
that's
the
what.
small
Yeah.
spaces, the retention of the ball. He is intelligent and he knows how to keep the ball, but while also having the confidence to take on players, right? Because we've had a lot of wingers who are good at retaining the ball, but not really taking on the player. And he has a decent balance of both. He's still young, and I don't even know where he needs to improve, right? But there's still a lot of improvement
I'm pretty
for
sure
him, a lot
people,
of
I'm pretty
growth
sure
for him.
people, I'm pretty sure people tell him to score more. I think that's what Pep is going to tell him. But you know what? You're right about that, Carl. Skywalker. Guys, what I saw today was this. They were Liverpool are scared of Brighton. You know that, right? I saw Liverpool parking the bus. Have you guys ever seen this? When they get the ball, guess what everybody in Liverpool is doing? They're going in the box. But guess what? This guy was still finding a pass and was still ripping them in their own box. Why they've packed the pass? I'm telling you, it's just I feel sorry for Liverpool. It looks like you know how people are clowning us about Spurs and Crystal Palace. Looks like Liverpool are finally landed Brighton. If you look at Brighton versus Liverpool card, do you know what the record is? Liverpool have won once.
Wow.
Brighton have smacked them over and over again. It's that even the time when Brighton sell players, Brighton sold Besuma, they have sold everybody. But the funny thing is, Brighton suit. Have you know that Brighton they suit City?
Do you do
They're
you,
open
do you
football. We
remember
always
what?
beat them with 4+. We always beat them with 4+ goals all the time.
Yeah, do you remember after one Brighton game when some crazy journalist was asking Pep some stupid question? He said, "You think it's easy to go and beat Brighton 4-1 away? Go and do it now." There was some press conference. He said that.
They're
You know,
very good. I think people take it for granted, but this Brighton team is
great
beat
team.
teams.
And
They
the
beat teams.
reality is, Patrick, the new coach of Brighton is better than Potter. 100% better than Potter.
I've been saying that. I've
Br-
been saying
Under
I've
Potter,
been
Brighton's problem was that they couldn't score enough goals.
they couldn't score goals.
Yeah,
They couldn't
this
score.
guy is banging in 4-3. Even against Arsenal, they scored 3 goals. One was rolled up for VAR. They're banging in goals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you guys?
that's not a game was supposed to be a draw. Hamza, I'm gonna let you read the question and answer it since you want to answer it.
No worries, man. Question to the panel. Most fans I hear speak about two wingers. If we get two wingers to compete with Grealish and Mahrez, where does Foden play? Because we will buy midfielders in the summer, two guaranteed. I'll make it short and snappy. I don't want to yap on. I think with obviously, if for example Bernardo Silva leaves and Gundo leaves, which I don't think will happen, I think Bernardo will be the one going. But even if those two leave, right, I think Foden and Grealish will be rotated. For example, that left winger from Napoli, we signed him, and we signed Mitoma. Is that how you say his name? Mitoma, the Brighton kid.
Yeah, Mitoma.
If we sign those two right, and that Napoli left winger is doing very good. He's on the form of his life. He's doing very well. Who says Grealish and Foden might not be into a number 8 role? I mean, I think Pep will sign one midfielder in the summer, but I don't think he's going to sign more than one midfielder because I think he will try put Foden into the number 8 role, and if that doesn't work, he can keep Foden on the wing, put Grealish as a number 8. Sometimes, not all the time. I think
But the
it will
thing,
rotate. What we did with Bernardo Silva, where sometimes he plays on the right wing, sometimes he plays number 8. I think we might end up doing the same with Foden and Grealish. That's what I think.
No, that's fair. Can I ask a general question though? This is our last topic to discuss, and I'm gonna start with Don't Smoke because he just came in. What do City do going forward? Don't Smoke. Right now, after that Arsenal game, after our last game, what should we do going forward? If you are Pep Guardiola, what do you do going forward so that we can start winning games and having more confidence?
No, we do what we normally do and ride on the momentum. Right. We have the winning momentum now. And I believe as if the same as if you have the losing momentum, it becomes easier to lose your next game. Same thing with winning. And that's what normally pushes us on our winning streak. And it's not always about the best performance. It's about getting over the line. Right. And we saw it against the Arsenal team the Arsenal game. Right. You don't need to blitz every team. Right. Of 3-4 nil to win a game. You just need one more goal than your opponents and you win. So it's right now you just want to that whatever positive we're doing right on that, man. I still want to see Alvarez and I cried for it. When I saw Gundo and KDB, I knew it's gonna be a long day.
I also said the same thing. I said, prove me wrong. I said in my head, like, prove me wrong. Gundogan and De
And
Bruyne.
you saw when Alvarez came in that we
Yeah,
told you,
yeah.
especially when Allen plays, you want Alvarez
Legs.
pressing. No, Alvarez pressing next to him and legs in that midfield as we're
Do,
gonna get overrun.
do you know who I'm happy about? Don't smoke, because I felt like if this guy wakes up, we will be unstoppable. Bernardo Silva waking up in that second half of Arsenal made me happy. The cameo I saw. You know what? Because I think Bernardo Silva waking up, and then we have a team where there's, let's say, sometimes De Bruyne and Good are not doing well. You have Bernardo Silva, Rodri, and Alvarez operating. It would be difficult for teams. You know that it would be so
And
difficult for teams to go through our midfield.
and at the back, I want to see Laporte and Stones again. Our
Did you
build-up play is never the
Stones is
same
injured
without.
though. Stones is injured,
did you
unfortunately.
see
It's fine, but
guys?
I want Laporte.
Did you guys
Come again,
see?
bro?
Did you guys notice how in the Arsenal game? Did you notice how the tempo kicked up like 5 times when Bernardo and Alvarez were playing? The
Exactly.
control, the pressing, the way we played. We're literally in their half. The way they just
Literally.
played was just. It reminded me of how we used to play, a year or two ago, where that short passing, that control on the ball, the dribbling ability, the movement, really quick. Then Haaland was free and Jack was doing his own thing. It
And
was.
I can guarantee you, if Stones and Laporte plays, Arsenal won't press us as high as they did because they know we'll play around them, right? Normally, the press happens when there's a Kanji
Yeah,
and Ake
yeah,
because
yeah,
they slow on the ball,
yeah.
right?
And Ortega.
Laporte Stones, you don't press City, will basically bypass that press and go into your midfield easily. So I'm waiting for my centre backs to be fit and come back. Then our build up will be seamless and effortless. And then
Apart,
with Alvarez there, man, I want whenever I see Haaland, I want to see Alvarez next to him, bro. Pick
before
Gundo or
before
KDB, pick one of them, and that's it.
before we go, Patrick, apparently the John Stones one it's not a serious injury, it's just a precaution. The
It's
guy
because
was just tired, apparently.
Okay.
Okay, Carl, here's a question for you, then we can close up. Sorry, guys, for today. It's just I have something to do.
Mm. The question is, where does Bernardo go? Nobody outside of England has money. I'm not sure he goes now. I mean, the only thing is that Paris is there. Paris have money. But I believe Mbappe wants him at Paris. The question for him, see, this issue Bernardo, right? Bernardo's done 7 years with us. Bernardo has about maybe 2.5 years left on his contract. Bernardo wants to go to Benfica at some point in time. So I think Bernardo wants to be able to leave on a free and go to Benfica because Benfica won't have to pay. So he's going to do 7 or 9 years or 10 years and leave on a free, which I think
that's what he wants. Yeah, that's what he wants.
which I think that the club should allow him to do. It's okay, guy, do 10 years. After 10 years, go to Benfica on a free. You'll be what, 31, 32. Fine. And come
No,
to
but Carl, he wanted another project before he goes to Benfica. His plan was that after Man City, he'd go to another club.
Yeah,
before.
Barcelona didn't come
Yeah,
for
but
him,
it's
though.
about business,
Barcelona didn't
man.
come for him. They were supposed to come for him 2 years ago, and Barcelona
So I
didn't
don't
come
think
for
he
him.
stays though. I think whatever option he gets to leave, he'll take it, bro. Unless literally nobody comes for him, he'll want to
problem
leave.
is that if he signs for Barcelona now, all of a sudden he has another 5-year contract, right? Which means that he's going to be 32, 33 before he goes to Benfica.
Not really. He can just ask for like a 3-year contract or a 2-year contract. 3 years.
Barcelona wouldn't. That's beneficial of Bernardo, not to Barcelona, though.
Yeah, but Skywalker, like people forget that these clubs are businesses, right?
They can't
This is
afford
not
it.
charity organizations.
I mean, Skywalker,
right?
there's the reason why Chelsea are doing 7-year contract because amortization. Right? It's not just, give me a 3-year contract. No, the club has to spread that cost across 5 or 6 years to make sure they comply with FFP. So you can't demand a 3-year or 2-year contract from Barcelona. What, 80 million Barcelona over 2 or 3 years? They can't do that kind of deal. They're going to do 5 years, which means that he's not going to be 33 before he goes to Benfica. And then what, they're going to buy him then? Nah, it just...
Yeah, and Benfica, I don't Benfica. No, I'm sorry, Benfica is not a club that spends. They have money, but they don't spend money. They will get you for easy money. So I don't think Benfica love Bernardo that much to say here's 80 million for whoever for us to get Bernardo. On that note, says De Bruyne looks like he's coming to senior citizen stage. No pun intended. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, let's give him a few weeks and see how it's going. Because for me, I was telling you guys,
Give him time.
All good things come to an end, but let's just hope it's not. Anyway,
Like,
guys,
De Bruyne still has at least 3 or 4 good
yeah,
years.
he does. That's why he signed
Let's
the
not
contract.
write him off. And
Yeah,
say,
let's not write him off. So,
No.
guys, on that note, I would like to thank all of you guys for coming on the panel. Unfortunately, we are cutting it very fast, but we'll do another show because we've got a preview for the Spurs game. Arsenal fans, that's what happens when you come at the king. When you miss, you lose. You still lost 1-0. Let that marinate in your system and your soul until the next game. We'll see each other on February the 15th. And then that's when the title will be decided. We'll see. Hopefully we play very well. I think we're playing we're playing Spurs away at their toilet stadium. Pep Guardiola, please. We can't have this record of not scoring at that toilet and not winning. Let's break that. The same Arsenal broke it 2 weeks ago. Let's break it. We can't have this over our heads. What's up with that toilet? Why does that toilet avoid us from scoring? Because even do you know what
why,
pisses me off? We can't
you know
even
why?
score a goal in that toilet. Yeah.
You know why? Because the 2 goals we conceded, guess who caused them? Zinchenko.
This guy.
Please never forget.
I don't forget, man. I remember the pain, the red card,
the
goals. I remember.
Yeah. Anyway, guys,
Zinchenko.
on that note, goodbye before we start. Zinchenko agent.